Coming to our virtual stage next, please welcome Solveig Eggers.
So I was very excited because I had been invited by a book group to talk about my book, the book I had written. And of course, because I wanted that book to be a bestseller, I was definitely going to go no matter what. I was also very excited because this was my first time out in 4 weeks after having foot surgery. And people had been helping me for 4 weeks, really nice people. And so when this came up, my friend said, "Hey, maybe I can drive you. I'll be happy to drive you." And I said, "No, you've been helping me and helping me and helping me. I don't need any help." Well, I was wearing a knee-high cast and I was on 2 crutches. And so I just set about getting outside of my house. So I opened the door and got out, and there were the steps. So I threw the crutches down the steps, and then I sat down on my butt and went bump, 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 bump down the 8 steps. And then I picked up my crutches, and the worst was over. Because you see, the hostess had promised me that she had no steps, just a driveway. So I got in my car and I headed off, and the GPS took me down to a new neighborhood, a place where I'd never been. And I turned right onto Sylvester Avenue, which is where I was going. Now, it was already dark, and this particular neighborhood was not very well illuminated. But I started looking for 8406 right away. I was looking right, left, any numbers. I couldn't see any numbers. But when GPS said, "Arriving at your destination on the right," I slammed on the brakes. And I got out of my car as fast as I could and got myself up onto the sidewalk. And I just leaned on my crutches. And something didn't seem right. The house on the right side of the street that was closest to me was very far away, and there was a long grassy area leading to it. In fact, it felt like a football field away, and the house was the goal. Oh, well, okay, I had to go there. And so I just, I was not used to hopping and swinging on grass. I really preferred sidewalk, but I set out, hop, swing, careful to keep my balance. And then I got kind of tired very quickly, so I'd stop to rest. And then I started again, hop, swing, hop, swing. And then I heard this voice in my ear. It was the doctor's voice. And it said, "Do not fall, because if you fall, you're coming back in here and we're going to start all over again." So I was very, very careful. And I just focused on balance the whole time. Finally, I was approaching the house, and that's when I saw movement in the second floor window of that house. It was a man, and he was either putting on his pants or taking off his pants. "Oh, good," I thought to myself, "it's probably the husband of the hostess." And so I made my way to the front door, and then, oh no, there were steps. There were 2 steps. This was the wrong house. And I desperately needed information. So I looked all over that facade, looking for numbers, looking for 8406 or anything close to 8406. There were no numbers there. Oh my gosh, here I was stuck. And I turned around briefly and looked at my car, which was in the distance. I had to find my way out of here, what to do. But I had my crutches. Perfect thing. So I leaned on one crutch and I picked up the other one and I went bang, bang, bam on the storm door. And then I waited, and all was very silent. It was a very quiet neighborhood. I heard nothing. Where was that man? Well, I went bang, bang, bang again. Gave him a second chance. Well, Isn't anyone going to come out and help me? Can't he hear me? And I was just exhausted from that. I had no choice but to turn around and go back to my car and try again. Well, no, I had my phone. I would just call the book group. I reached into my pocket. Oh no, I had left my phone in the car. Whew. Now I was really, really feeling very tired, but I kept in mind my doctor's advice: go slow and keep your balance. So hop, swing, hop, swing, hop, swing. I was making my way across that football field of a lawn. And as I was approaching the sidewalk, finally, I saw a human being. It was a very small human being. And it was a little girl. And she had on a leash a white polar bear. So I called to her, please stop and talk to me. And she did. And I asked her, do you know where we are? I'm looking for 8406. What are the numbers here? Oh, I have no idea. I'm just walking the dog, she said. But I can just go across the street and check the number there for you. Here, you hold the dog. And she handed me the leash. And I was already a little wobbly, so I just prayed that that polar bear would just stay with me while the little girl went across the street. And she came back and she said, you better just keep going. This is not anywhere near where you want to be. It's not anywhere near 8406. Here, you take the leash. I said, thank you. And she went away. And I very slowly got myself into my car. And I breathed in and out, just to calm myself. It must have taken about half an hour to get there. I was so late, and I wanted so badly to be so professional and make a good impression. But now I just wanted to get to that book group. So I started the car, and I headed off, and I headed up down the same road. And I crossed the cross street, and there was an incline, and I went up the hill slightly. And that's when I saw the second human being, not counting the man who was putting on his pants, on that street. And it was a woman, and she was making motions to me as if I were an airplane. And she was going like this. I had no idea if she meant me, but I followed her hand motions. Wherever she was going to send me, that's where I was going to go. And I pulled into a driveway, and there were no steps there. And I turned off the motor, and I opened the door, and I got out of the car and leaned onto my crutches, and I fell into that woman's arms. And then I said, can you please help me to the door? And so together we walked to the door.